Next is what we've been waiting for, the aromatic, warm clay pot rice, bursting with savory meats, fragrant rice, and a crispy bottom. First thing I'm going to do is put on the sweet soy sauce, which is standard for this dish. Look at that. Quite nice. You can't put too much of that stuff on. What I'm going to do is to mix this and take a look at that. It's piping hot, really hot. And I'm going to take care and not pick up or pull up the rice all the way on the bottom because I want a nice crispy bottom to form. So I'm just mixing the soy sauce in. That's it, not digging in. Okay, now let's take a look at the bodaifan or the clay pot rice. Now there are lots of pieces of protein in here. I ordered double protein. We have the preserved meats here, and then we have the salted fish and pork pancake here. We have the Chinese sausage here, the regular lapsang, and then we have the wow, this is awesome. They have the preserved duck. Over here they have the liver sausage with the wine, and then here's a giant piece of pork belly, preserved pork belly. So wow, they have 4 different kinds of preserved meats here. This is really awesome. Next we have this big piece of pork. I'm thinking that there's probably some salted fish integrated into this patty. I won't know until I try it. We're gonna eat it very soon. Okay, it's time to try the clay pot rice, my favorite, and it's still nice and hot. Now, we're gonna try the pork patty first. Now, this is actually a pretty big piece. Look how big this is. This is like 4 inches by 3 inches. Let's try the meat, see the quality. Immediately, I'm hit by the salted fish flavor. It should be nice and strong, and it is. Another thing that I taste is that the pork patty is super bouncy, super supple. That's the way it should be. Well, for restaurant quality. Sometimes if you make this at home, you won't put that softening agent into the pork patty, but this one they did and is nice and good restaurant quality meat. I just tried the rice. I'm going to tell you that the rice, when you make this rice, sometimes some places ladle some oil into the rice as it cooks. I can taste that oil. The oil, I believe it tastes like pork fat, but then again, it could be the fat from the preserved meats. But in any case, it's super aromatic, super savory. The rice grains are very nicely oiled and slippery. Delicious. Let's move on to the preserved porks. We're gonna try the pork belly first. Let's try this. Delicious. Very generous. That was a thick cut slice. That preserved pork is excellent. It's not too hard. Sometimes when it's not cooked well enough, it becomes rock hard, but this is not rock hard. It's nice and chewable. It's the perfect texture. Next, we'll try the Chinese sausage or the lapsang. It's good. They cut it into super thin slices, like paper thin, which is good. Taste that lapsang. Not overly oily. It's not the super oily type of lapsang. It's just, there is fat, but not a crazy amount of fat. Next, we're gonna try the preserved duck. Now, this is what the preserved duck looks like. This piece is usually pretty hard, but let's see if this is nice and soft. Wow. Once again, the texture is perfect. It's not too hard, not too soft, just right. See, the danger of these preserved meats is that sometimes the preserved meats are kind of hard, but they cooked it right. They prepared it right. It's really nice. I really like it. Finally, the last component of this dish that I'm going to try is the liver sausage. Usually there's some wine in here. Let's try this. That's interesting. The liver sausage actually tastes a little bit like the regular Chinese sausage. There's not much difference in flavor. Usually there's a markedly different flavor. is usually more gritty, but this has the exact same texture as the regular Chinese sausage. Very interesting. As I'm eating more of this clay pot rice, this place is the best I've had this year. I have to say that everything is done correctly. I mean, every element from the preserved meats cooked perfectly, perfect texture, not too hard, not too soft. The texture of the pork is perfect. It's nice and squishy and bouncy, and with that salty fish flavor that we're all looking for. This is the complete dish, and this is easily the best I've had this year. And I don't know, if you come here, this needs to be the main dish that you order here. I think that they're known for this dish here. They put it in the front page of their menu, and they do it for a reason. Now I'm going to show you a big treat. I'm going to show you, do the big review of the crispy rice. Look at that. Look at that crispy rice on the bottom. That is quite amazing. I'm going to dig up even more of that. Look at that crispy rice. This is what you're here for. This is the thing that sets this dish apart from anything else. Look at that. Look at that beautiful crispy rice. This is why I love this dish so much. Okay, let's try the crispy rice. This is one big chunk of it. This is like eating a Chinese bagel. Crisp on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside. Absolutely delicious.